So you can rewatch it if you need to, because I don't want you to raise your hand every 5 seconds and say, what do I do next? Yeah, I don't like that. That's why I know Mr. Aiken talked about it. Take notes, and some of you guys did, some didn't. But take notes. Okay, we're going to be using a program called InDesign. You guys leave everything behind? Okay, where do you find InDesign at? Hopefully people are computer
Type it in the
literate.
bar.
No. Where do you find it?
In the applications.
The applications folder. What's wrong? You have his pencil? Please. Okay, if you look, I always dock my stuff down below if I know I'm going to be using it. And that's something you can do. Find an applications, pull it down to your dock. It's the ID. It's purple. When you click on it, this little box pops up. Okay, I'm going to close this one behind so you don't get confused. Yeah, I won't. Not yet anyways. Okay, first thing you're going to do is you don't have to mess with this. This screen right here is the default. Leave it default. It should say letter. It should say default print. It has picas and points. You guys don't know what that means, so that's why we just don't mess with it. In the advanced classes, I'll show you what that is and talk about it, and you'll understand it more. So we just hit OK. When you do this, it should have a new paper come up, like so. Now, the margin is the purple. That doesn't mean a thing for us. All it is it's a 1/2 inch in. You can go edge to edge, but I would leave at least an 1/8 of an inch around it because it will not print all the way edge to edge in our room. So when you design this, make sure you're not putting stuff all the way to the edge. Pictures you can, but it's because it'll print all the way to it can. So if you do want color out to the edge, go ahead and do it. It'll just leave a little white border around it anyway, so you'll lose some of it. Okay, first thing is, you've typed your paper. We're going to put that information on. So what you'll do is you'll come in, hit the T tool, and if you look, it's right there. You can get there by hitting T. So if you hit the T, it should automatically go there and give you the spinny ball. Okay. Now I got to, in this program only, I'm going to draw a box. Okay. And it's very easy to start with your margins. You don't have to. Okay. But I'm going to make the box the entire size of my document. So I should have just drew it that large to begin with. Right to there. Now I go to my program, Google Docs or Word, and what can I do? Copy paste. So I'm going to copy paste. So I'm just going to make my paragraph. I can type 100 words a minute. And it just keeps going. Then I'm going to do this just for you guys. And so on. There's our paragraph that you typed. That's roughly how much it's going to be. It's not a lot. Okay, and maybe I'll put one more. I'm an overachiever. There you go. Okay, so I've got all this text. Right now it still doesn't look like anything fancy fun. What I'm going to do is go find my photos. Where do I find my photos at? Google. Now I still got to go. I'm going to go over with you, make sure you're doing it right, because some of you still don't know how to use Google Images. Car. I'm going to look for a car. Need to buy a new one. Okay, how do we look for images? I know this sounds elementary, but how do you do it? Now what do I do? Okay, see, that's the elementary part that we forget how to do it. Click on it. Then click View Image. What's the reason behind that? I know some of you know because I've told you.
Because
Go ahead. Yep. It could be blurry, but what's another reason is if you look at it, these are smaller. which they will be blurry. These are called thumbnails. These are another thumbnail, but here's the full image that they put up there. Now, this one wasn't very much different, but if we go up here, if you want a large one, I click Search Tools, Size, Large, and I'm going to click on this one. Again, that's a little bigger, but then I'm going to click this one, and it's really big. So this one's a better image to use. Don't ever pull over thumbnails anymore. You guys should know better from now on. We'll take this. That's the car I want. Put it right here. Then I'm going to place this image. Okay? And I said place for a reason. Okay, so how am I going to get that image on there? File what? Place. Since I said it twice, we should realize that. File, place. Then I'm going to go find my image. It's probably on your desktop. Now, if you notice, what do I have selected on my paper? Look what's highlighted. Not physically highlighted, but what's selected. The text box that I created. If you notice the blue line is around it, that means I've had it selected. So see what happens. I'm going to hit my car. Hit open. It's a Hyundai. And this is what's going to happen. It takes over the text. That's not what we want. Okay, so what can you do right now? What's a nice command? Command Z or undo. Okay, now my text is back where I want it, and now I have this photo. I'm going to place it. Now, the reason it did that is because I had it highlighted. You can click off of the paper first, then go File, Place, and do this, and you don't have that problem. And you can select where you want. But if it does it, just hit Command Z. Now, obviously, it's too big. Okay? Now, how do I make it smaller? And this is going to be, we're going to have to do something different. Think of that window over there. We have a window, and we have a picture behind it. The picture behind it can be moved on its own, and the window can be moved. The window is blue. If you notice at the top, it's blue. Okay, we'll zoom in. This right here is blue. If it was orange, which, see the circle? If I click here, it turns orange-brown. Now I've got a hold of the picture behind the window. So if I just grabbed the blue one and moved it in, I'm cutting the window down, not the photo. So I'm going to show you that, just because some of you will do this. Okay, so if I click here, you notice the window shrank, the picture is still large. Easiest way to do this to make it all one time is hit S. So S means scale. So I hit the S button. That's it. Some of you guys remember this because you wrote it down. Some of you guys won't because you're snoozing. But here's another thing. Right up here is what we call a pivot point. You see that crosshair? In basketball, if you pivot, it means you're pivoting or rotating on that one spot. So that means I'm going to grab the bottom right corner and bring it up to my pivot point. So I'm going to come down here and grab. I need to hold one more button as I move it. Anybody know what it is? Shift. That keeps it proportioned. Like that. Now this is what people are going to do, is they're going to want to move it. Watch what happens when I move it. What command am I still in? My scale tool. So I need to go back to my move tool, which is the arrow. And now I can move it. Do not grab in the middle, because I'm moving my picture inside the frame. Make sure you grab it, not where that hand pops up. Okay? So now I have a photo, I have my text. Up here, I want to click. It's going to wrap around the text. The picture is going to move. So now I have this. Oh, no. Okay. Now this right here is not good because you can't read it. So make sure you place it the right way. Hold Option. I'm just going to make a new one, make 3 of them, because you're going to file place them. If you notice, my text now is starting to look like it's supposed to. Now I'm going to do something else. I can move this down because I want my title up top. So, I make another text box. Title. Here's a button that's kind of neat. Makes it all caps for me. I can change my font. Some of you guys need to do that just because it's boring with the regular fonts. Okay. Centered. Okay, this is one thing I want to tell you about points. Anybody even recognize what this does? What it means? What's 12-point font mean?
12 pixels.
It just means 12 points. Okay, we don't know what that means. Anybody know what an inch represents? Let's try this. Watch this.
13 points.
What does it go to? What's the highest it goes to? 72, which means 1 inch. So, in 72 points equals 1 inch, what does 36 represent? Half. What's 18? A quarter. So if you put something at 18 points, that means your text should be at a 1/4 inch tall. So when you print it, if you want something a 1/2 inch, we need to go 36 points. Like so. If I want it bigger, you just make it. You can even go farther. You can type it in if you want, but it only goes to 72. Okay, it disappeared. What does that mean?
It's too big.
It's too big. I can move my frame to make it fit. Oh, we're losing something. What happened? It went over my photo, so my photo pushed it out of the way. Okay. So I got my title. Pretty easy, right? Now I'm going to put my name in the bottom corner because I created this. Always make the box off the paper and bring it on. Okay, now I want to make it fun and creative. Okay, now if I want to do something fun with the title, if I want to change the color, highlight it. Over here, the fill is the inside of the object. The stroke is the outline. Okay, if you hover over these, they'll tell you. So if I want an outline, I can click on it. Or if I want to swap them, I can do that. And now I have that. I could come in with my title, have it highlighted, and here's the stroke, which means I can affect what it looks like. I can make it thicker. I can come in and put arrows on them, but we really don't want to. Here's color. Starting to change some things. Let's say I don't like that. I want to go ahead and take that back off. And so on. Yep, I switched it. Switch it back like that. Okay. The next thing we can do is we can do some drop shadows. How many people have used drop shadows before in other projects? Okay, hopefully you guys know what they are, at least. Okay, if I take object, type is an object, a box is an object, a picture is an object, we can go object, effect, drop shadows, glows, bevels, but I'm going to hit a drop shadow. And I always hit preview so I can see what I'm doing. If you notice on the type, you can barely see it on the screen up here, but I'm going to make it a little bit larger. And then, there we go. Should be able to start seeing it up there. We'll make it really ugly on my screen, but you can at least see it. So now we have a drop shadow. I can go through and emboss it. Makes it 3D, and this font right now is bad because you can't see it. You've got to have the fill to make it look anything. So I'm going to go ahead and switch these back. Highlight it again, switch them, and so you can see the embossed. You can kind of see it on the left side. It looks like it's coming up at an angle. So now it's more 3D. So there's some different features. Okay, some of you might want to have some color in it. And what I did is I selected the rectangle tool. And I'm just going to draw a box like so. And I'm going to flip the color because right now it said it has an outline but nothing in the middle. So to flip it, again I just hit that. Now I have a black box. I want to change it to green. Or maybe I'd go and pick the color of the car. Which I could come in here and pick this color. What's wrong with this picture?
It is green, you can't see.
It's in front of my title. Here's a shortcut. Command Shift left bracket. I'd write that down because you're going to do this probably. Command Shift left bracket. If you guys remember these, they're universal for every program that you will use in here. If you want to move things backwards, you hit Command Shift bracket. If you want to move it in front of it, Command Shift right bracket. I can just go back and forth. If you cannot remember those, it is up here also. Object Arrange, right there. Command Shift is that arrow, right bracket, bring to the front. Command Shift left bracket, bring it to the back. That's just one way you can remember it. I like shortcuts, and we'll tell you a lot of them. Okay, this is still kind of cheesy. It's not cool yet. We can make things cooler by adding more shapes. Okay, let's say I like this. I'm going to give some examples that kids do. If you want, go get a magazine that you like and you see, hey, I like this. I was talking earlier about having this title. And click off. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to put it behind it. And then I'm going to make this opacity right up here. You see this 100%. I'm going to change it to maybe 10%. You can see it up there still. I'll make it a little darker. So now it's faded in the background where then I have my titles hanging over it. Sometimes you see it like so, where it's huge. And then this nice colored black one is off the side somewhere. Get a double image. Okay. A lot of things we can do with this, and I haven't gone over very much of this, but enough to get you started. What are these considered? I know they're photos, but what else can we call it? Object. So we can go through with our photos even and put glows on them, embosses. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. So now it's popping off the page. I come in here and add a stroke to it, which is the outside, so it's got a border. So there's a lot of things you can do. Okay, I can even take this image and make the border dotted. Or come in and take it and make it something different. Like so. And if you zoom in, you can actually see the line choices. Okay? So questions on how to get started with it. Okay, I'm going to get the examples out next time. We're going to have Tuesday, Monday, and Wednesday of next week to work on these. If you're not done typing, you need to get that done. Okay? Get somebody to proofread it, so next time you can just do straight this. And on Wednesday, you can print it off. We're going to take a test on Wednesday. So on Tuesday, we're going to review. You should have had your notes done by then. Tonight, at midnight, I will cancel the quiz, and you'll get a 0 if you have not taken them. There's 2 of them. Okay, we're going to go over next time also over screen printing. I should have done it today since I had it set up for you. But I'll let you try it on shirt next time. Okay, questions? Okay, put your stuff away. If you haven't signed out, log out.
I'll log out.
No.